What's up, New Beginnings Church? Happy Thursday morning to you, and welcome to this devotional series where we're talking about just kind of getting free, catching some freedom, getting out of the funkiness of sometimes stress, anxiety, depression, those things. We've been looking at the story of Elijah found in 1 Kings chapter 19. He gets into depression, and God's going to pull him out. We talked about God making sure he's taking care of his physical needs, because this thing is all interconnected right now. He talks to him about, obviously, like, hey, you got to give those things to me. You're not, I don't know if you know this or not, but, we're talking about sheep and shepherds. Sheep are not load-bearing animals. You never put a pack of equipment on top of a sheep. That's not what that is. And so we're not load-bearing animals. We need to cast our cares upon him because he cares for us. But the next thing I want to talk about is that God says, okay, now that you took care of your physical needs, you gave your emotions to me, now I'm going to give you some fresh revelation. And that's what we all really, really need. We need to go see God in a fresh way and really have that fresh revelation from God re-energize us. Watch, this is what happens. So once he's in the cave, God says, go out and stand on the mountain in the presence of the Lord, for the Lord is about to pass by. Then a great and powerful wind tore the mountains apart and shattered the rocks before the Lord, but the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind, there was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake came a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. But after the fire came a gentle whisper. So I think this is really God showing up and showing off and just blowing Elijah's mind. I don't know about you, but let's just imagine for a second that there's a wind so powerful that it starts tearing up a mountain. That's some power. An earthquake. Now, I didn't grow up in California. I remember moving here in 2002, and I remember feeling my first earthquake, and it is unsettling. You feel like I'm out of control, like Earth is moving. It's an unsettling feeling to me. And then, of course, there's a fire. And then, of course, California is known for its fires. And so, anyway, these are the types of things that showed up in powerful ways. And it says something interesting because, but God was not in those things. And what's unique is that throughout the entire Bible, sometimes God was in those things. Like God was the mighty rushing wind on the day of Pentecost in the book of Acts. Like God was speaking from the fiery bush that spoke to Moses, or he was the fourth person in the fiery furnace with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, right? Like God is sometimes in the earthquake that broke open the prison cell that let Peter was it the Apostle Paul and Silas, let him go free from the prison cell. But he's like, no. I'm going to give you something new. That sometimes I show off big in all my power. And that's awesome. We need times where God shows up big. But he goes, I want you to go to the edge of the cave and know that sometimes I'm in the big, powerful things, but know that I am in the tiniest little things, even a whisper. And I think Elijah catches this incredible revelation of God, that God is so big and so powerful that he can take on the prophets of Baal and take on the whole thing. But at the same time, he can meet you in a cave all by yourself and just talk to you. And he's so close that you can hear him, even if he's just whispering. If you've ever felt alone in this life, because I know he did, he was already complaining in other verses, like, I'm the only one left. He goes, no, you're not the only one left. I'm here in all the power that you need, but I'm here in the personal touch that you need. I'm so close that you could hear me, even if I was just whispering. I think for us, it's very, very important that we actually turn off all the other noises. Because if God is so close that we could hear him with a whisper, but the noise of the world is cranked all the way up, right? When we hear, and this is why we have to be so careful by what we hear and what we watch. Some of us are full of fear and anxiety because we watch the 24-hour news cycle over and over and over again, which again is a terrible way to live life. The news is predicated on the idea that we need to come out with the worst news possible to get the most amount of clicks, the most amount of eyeballs. We need to create controversy. We need to create division. It's how they drive revenue. It's how they drive ads. Like, we get that, right? Like, that's not the only thing going on in the world today. They just know that's the thing that's going to get you worked up the most. But the very thing that gets you worked up the most is the thing that ends up maybe leading you towards anxiety and stress and depression. And so he's like, no. You need to shut down the noise of this world and go be at peace. Or we could say it like the psalmist said it when he goes, be still. right? Be still and know that I'm God. Sometimes we need to go to a quiet place, right? Isn't that what Jesus said? He goes, and when you pray, go into a secret place or a quiet place. Like that's where we need to be, in those secret places and quiet places, spending time with God. Because whenever you spend time with God and you get a fresh insight, a fresh revelation, God shows you something new, that alone re-energizes you. And you had to go shut off the things of this world that were stressing you out so you could get in that perfect little sweet spot with God where you could hear his voice and be refreshed by him. Church, I love you so much. Let us make sure that we carve out time today, that we carve out time in our week to spend time with God and to turn off the things of this world. Can I get an amen? Church, I love you so much. God bless you guys, and I will see you tomorrow.